We was like brothers.
Welcome into Box Office Quarterbacks, guys. I am excited to talk about this movie today. Creed 3, as Ahmed does his unboxing corner that we've been doing lately, just hit theaters. All three of us were blown away by it. I have a lot of good things to say, but let's just get into your initial reactions. Eric, I'll start with you. You were the last one to see it, so it's fresher in your mind. Tell me your thoughts on this movie.
My initial thoughts, I got out of the theater, and the first thing that came to my mind was, what a directorial debut for Michael B. Jordan. And it's just like, that's something that he's always talked about, eventually one day stepping behind the camera and being a director. I didn't think it would be for a movie like this. I thought he would start on a smaller scale. But man, he did an amazing job.
I mean, how can you top that response? I mean, Eric said it all. It's a directorial debut, but it looks like something he had done before. It was so professionally done. And with Michael B. Jordan's acting, you would have thought, how do you make the time to direct when you've done so well in this performance? It's amazing. I don't I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. For me, it just how do you reimagine the ninth movie in a franchise and make it look different? He somehow did it, made the fight scenes seem fresh. Like he really put his visual take on there. I watched a video where he had an anime inspiration for the fights in this movie, and I thought that was super cool. Like you could see like where Dragon Ball and Naruto and all these other things come in. So I really dug that. I dug the performances. God, Jonathan Majors, guys, holy crap!
Yeah.
This dude is killing it this year, and like I liked him in Ant-Man. He was my favorite part of this movie. I loved him in this movie. I think that he is just a superstar now. He is like the 101 draft pick in an acting when it comes to the movies that we're seeing now.
And I think it was you guys, somebody in the group sent a text message. It was a tweet that had a picture of Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan. And supposedly they're going to be continuing to work together like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. I am here for it. I like the way these two actors, inspire one another. And even off screen, they're hyping each other up. It's amazing to see.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, that's exactly what uh the movie industry needs. So you said Al Pacino, you said Robert De Niro. We can talk about Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Why not Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan, man? Like you could definitely tell like during the press run that these two guys might have found something, and it was amazing to see it play out on screen.
Yeah, 100%. Like the chemistry is there. Like they felt like they were childhood best friends. And that kind of gets us into the plot of the movie where it opens with Adonis Creed retiring essentially from his boxing career, which like he's 35 years old. I thought he could have probably continued to fight because Mayweather's in his 40s and he's fighting, but goes out into retirement. He's reunited with Dame Anderson, his childhood friend who got locked up for 18 years. He's out. He puts himself back into his life, and the whole plot is set into motion there. Like, Dame is not the guy that you think he is. You don't know how ruthless he really is until about the middle of the movie to achieve the goal that he lost so much time on. So there are so many great parts in this movie. What was your favorite scenes of this movie? Eric, I'll start with you.
My favorite scene. I'll go back. So my favorite scenes were obviously the climactic fight between Dame and Adonis, especially when um, they took it out of the crowd. So it was just those two fighting, and you could sense like different aspects of their lives coming up, whether it was the punching bag or whether it was Adonis backed up on a cell because of what they went through when they were staring across each other from the ring. You saw young Adonis, you saw young Dame. Like this was that was one of my favorite scenes. Um, Another one of my favorite scenes was when we found out, like you said, how vicious Dame could be when he was fighting, when he was sparring with Chavez, and no, when he was fighting, when actually got the fight with Chavez, and just the way he attacked like different limbs, and it was just like, man, this guy is like, I don't like. He doesn't give a damn, and he's such a and like that's something major for Jonathan Majors, no pun intended, because he was such a damn good like antagonist. Like whether it was Adonis on First Take, and he called into the show, and he
Yeah.
was just like, "Oh, you this, you that," or whether it was when Adonis found out about like, okay, this was all like a setup, and he saw him at that bonfire party, and he just rocked him, and he man, it was just. But those scenes stuck out. But my favorite scene was I hate to say it was a climactic one, but it was the final fight between those two.
The Eric, you touched on so many amazing things. That scene is also one of my favorites. There's a lot that I want to say, so I'm sorry if I overtake, this episode. But what I want to say first, um, I screwed up when I was watching it because I did not anticipate that I would get to the theater late. I didn't think that it would take so long to get the snacks, so I missed the beginning. I didn't realize later that I missed the first 15 minutes. Whenever I was able to go back and watch it, because thankfully, I have the AMC Stubs Pass. AMC, please sponsor us and subscribe to our stuff. Um, when I was able to go, to another screening like directly afterwards, I got so caught up after watching the beginning that I almost was about to finish the rest of the movie. Does that make sense? Like I was about to watch it again, and I haven't been able to get the thought out of my head. That movie, it's like I haven't had this kind of feeling for a movie ever again, ever in a long time, where I want to keep watching it over and over and over again. Um, the favorite scenes that stuck out to me, aside from the climactic fight scene, was the dialogue between the two. Every scene where Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan are talking, but specifically whenever they're sitting together and they're talking with Bianca, played by Tessa Thompson, whenever they're all talking with her, and he says, "Do you remember the bed bugs?" And Michael B. Jordan's like, "I try to forget that." And Jonathan Majors kind of just is like, "I can never forget about those things." And to me, the movie seemed less so much about, you know, sports. It kind of seemed like it was coming into its own, and the message underneath it all was the need for battling your demons, the struggle in battling your demons. This is a part of Michael B. Jordan, Adonis. This is a part of him that he's been trying to forget about, to move on from, and now it's back into his life and said, "You've denied my existence for too long. Now I'm taking everything away from you." And he has to look his demon in the eyes after getting punched and beaten, has to go, "No, I'm here for this. I got to do what I got to do," in the words of Rocky Balboa. And I just think like just every scene between them, even the last scene, where Dame kind of forgives him, and he just finally realizes it wasn't on you. We were just kids. But then hearing Adonis tell Dame, "It wasn't on you either." There was so much beauty in just those words. Being able to hear someone say it's not your fault and then feeling that validation, I think that's just what makes the movie so powerful. It's not just about, you know championing somebody with fists. It's about being able to champion the demon inside you.
Yeah, 100%. Like their relationship just felt so real to me. Like they had really known each other their whole lives. And I thought, the backstory that the movie opens with was so strong. Sometimes when you do this in movies where you like establish that these characters have a relationship 3 movies into a franchise, it doesn't work. It works here. So this isn't like Fast and the Furious where we're trying to shoehorn in connections. This is like a real down to earth relationship. So I really did
Fast
love
10
that.
coming out in theaters very soon.
Yes.
We're not gonna
Um,
we're not gonna see Rita Moreno as the grandmother here, and out of nowhere, and like, hey, wait, where did she come from?
yeah,
Or
exactly. It's
Jason
like, oh,
Momoa.
Yeah,
yeah, we could go on and on, but yeah, the relationship felt real. I love the beach scene where after Adonis finds out that it was Dame's friend from prison that broke that dude's or that broke Drago's hand at the party. That was just a crazy sequence, and then Creed getting back into the game. I love the whole training montage and everything like that. The thing I really did love about this movie, though, was that yes, it's connected to the Rocky franchise, but this is the first movie in this series that felt like its own thing. Like Sylvester Stallone isn't in this movie. Um, I love Rocky, but I didn't miss him as much as I thought I would be. I love that this franchise is moving forward in its own way.
before I forget, another thing that I loved about this film was just the juxtaposition and just the type of shots that Michael B. Jordan used. One of the shots that stuck out to me was when right before the Chavez fight, um, Adonis goes to talk to Dame, tell him like, "Hey, this is your shot. Like, hey, like, good luck out there." But when they leave, you see them both on both sides of the wall, and like they have their own separate like lighting as they're walking out of the door, and they kind of look at each other, and it was just the great way of them telling like, all right, this is gonna come to a head, but you could just see like how they were always juxtaposed against each other, and that shot is gonna stick with me because it was just so beautifully done. And just to piggyback off your point, like I understand Rocky not being in it, but I mean, it could have been nice. He didn't need to be on screen, but hey, maybe if he sent a postcard after Marianne dies, like, "Hey, I'm thinking about you," or or a mention of like, "Oh, Rocky is living it up with his grandson." At least just to mention that. I mean, he's still alive because in the trailers, you see a shot of Adonis at a cemetery, and dressed in black. So obviously there was a funeral. So this whole time I was like, oh, this is where they kill off Rocky, but he's not even mentioned. So I mean, it would have been cool to at least get one mention of him. He didn't obviously have to be on screen, but just to know that he's still around in Creed's life would have been something that would have been cool.
Yeah,
I
or
wonder if
like,
that was.
go ahead,
Go
Ahmed.
ahead.
Yeah, well, just like I thought it was weird in the gym where there was, posters of Apollo and everything, but Rocky was nowhere to be found in there. And I know in real life, Sylvester Stallone and the producer of the film are not getting along, and there's a rights issue tying things up. And he didn't like the direction this movie went in. He wanted it. He didn't like the darkness of the movie, I guess, which I don't understand. I think it was more like the most psychological movie in the franchise, and it really dug into emotions a different way. But I mean, we could go on and on about that.
Yeah,
If that was. No, I was going to say, I wonder if that was done by design in that. Because eventually they can't keep relying on Sylvester Stallone to make the franchise. Yeah, I understand that it started with him, but it's kind of like the Iron Man thing. It seems like even though he's passed on, Spider-Man cannot for some reason get over him. It
mm,
just keeps they just keep on having to rely on this. And so with this, I like that there were some mentions of, hey, if Apollo could give someone like Rocky Balboa a chance. I like that they were able to do that, but it seemed like because it was coming into its own, it didn't need it, and maybe that's how they felt. I just I hope that you know people that were upset about the whole darkness behind the movie or whatever. Let me remind you, he had to fight the guy who killed his dad. Look him in the eye. You're not tell me that's not dark. Give me a break.
Yeah. I mean, his dad died in the ring in the fourth movie, so there was dark elements in it for sure. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but like the characterization was great in this movie. I do want to get to favorite characters. Ahmed, let's start with you. Who topped your list in this movie?
So of course. Dame, of course, and of course Adonis. But I don't know if this will be on y'all's list, but I like seeing Drago, and I like seeing Drago as a nice person. I like that they were getting along. In the real world, I don't think that would be possible. You know what I mean? I don't know how it could be possible, but I like that, he came back. I like that he helped train him. And it kind of seemed like they took Drago out of the scene a lot because in the back of my mind, I can't help but think, ooh, I'd love to see if Dame could have been the one to take on Drago. And they're like, nah, we've given him too much screen time. Let's give this other guy, Chavez, a chance. But I like seeing Drago, and I liked that he was a good guy because he seemed like he was trying to be a good guy. He just was fed a bunch of nonsense in the second movie, and he knew it wasn't right. That's why he held back a lot.
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah, favorite characters easily is gonna be Adonis. We had Dame, but another character that I think stole the show was Amara,
Yeah.
and the way
Hmm.
she helped humanize Adonis. My fiance was reading something where it was just like, you can tell the genuine love that Adonis had for his daughter, because Michael B. Jordan said that he talked to people like Jamie Foxx and Kobe when he was alive about how to be a dad, especially a girl dad, and like you could see that on screen. And I love the fact that they were inclusive about the child's hearing condition, and didn't say, oh, 5 years later after she was whenever however long time passed that she got her hearing back. That they went and were inclusive, had all the sign language, and did all that. That I really enjoyed that as a viewer, because they could have went the cheap way out and just said, "Oh, she's healthy now," and whatever. But they stuck with it. But like every time Amara's on the screen, like you can feel the genuine love, and that makes her one of the top characters for me.
Just to piggyback real quick, there was an interview where Michael B. Jordan also talked about how Apollo Creed's character was supposed to be based on Muhammad Ali, and of course he has his daughter Layla Ali. So I think like that was a perfect homage, and maybe could open the doors for possibilities where Creed will be played by someone like the actress Mila. I forget her last name, but who plays Amara.
Yeah, they definitely set it up for a potential spinoff down the line with Amara just like entering that world of boxing. And I think that's a great way to take the franchise. We've never had like a female protagonist in this franchise, so I'm really down for that direction. Obviously, Dame and Creed are going to be my favorites. I did love Tessa Thompson in this movie
Yeah,
as well. Just her also dealing with the degenerative hearing condition. I thought it was very, very strong. So that's going to be my top three. But nothing but great performances across the board here. Let's
I
get
do have one nit to pick. The
yes,
only thing that I might say was just like, I don't care how good of a boxer you are. In the past, there is no way in hell that a 40-year-old boxer can get a title shot. And
yes,
I was just like, okay, I could have saw like maybe if Dame had his own fighter that had been training and he not say latched onto, but was promoting. I don't know, someone from the Crenshaw district, like almost like how Ivan Drago's dad um, was helping him, and we saw that connection. I guess they didn't want to go that route because that would have been pretty much Creed 2, but still, like there could have been some. I don't know. It's just
No, I get what you're saying, Eric. I had the same gripe. Like there were a lot of like, oh, this just happened immediately. We're just supposed to accept that. Like
yeah.
now, oh wait, now he has a house. Now he has a girl. Where does she come from? Where did
uh,
this posse of people at this beach come from? You know what I mean? How did he go from a small studio apartment and then overnight he has this beach party of like amazing people and a gun.
Yeah.
um,
I mean, you
So
get a huge bag if you win just one
yeah, no,
fight.
that's true.
So
So
yeah.
yeah, he definitely had a couple belts. So I mean, he definitely fought after. But I'm just saying the initial fight with Chavez. Like, I don't care
yeah.
if
I
if
mean, if I would be pissed if I was any other boxer for
yeah.
sure.
So I'm just like, wait a second. But
Well, but let's
uh,
also not forget something. Jonathan Majors is not older than Michael B. Jordan. In
yeah,
fact,
that's
he's 3 years younger.
yeah,
Really, I did not
And
yeah,
know
he
that.
is.
yeah, he's Jonathan Majors is 33. Michael B. Jordan's 36.
Oh shit. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they could have taken that in a way different direction.
Yeah.
right. So
So
so while we go, he's a 40-year-old, we also have to remember this is a 30-year-old playing a 40-year-old, and we
yeah.
still believed it, or at least Jeff did for a brief moment in time.
I thought it was. I thought that was legit, but yeah. Well, hope for 40-year-old boxers everywhere after this
Yeah.
movie. Let's get into our
Just so long
rankings,
as you look like
guys.
a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric, what would you rank this movie?
Man, I was thinking, man, do we have anything higher than a Hall of Fame? But man, this is it. This was probably one of my favorite movies that I've watched in recent memory. I my fiance and I ran through Creed 1 and 2, um, and and I've never taken it out of my mind when we talked about it. It was just like it seemed like Creed 1 and 2 just made it seem like Adonis was out to prove that he wasn't a lame, but like this one really brought the emotion. Um, it really brought everything that we were looking for in the first two. I mean, I guess it was the collection of the backstory with Dame. Actually, almost feeling like he didn't have Rocky in his corner, so we didn't have that hanging over him. But this one really like tugged at the heartstrings. It was everything. Again, it was one of my favorite movies that I've watched in recent memory. So it's a easy Hall of Fame for me.
Agreed. Um, like I said, there's a subtleness in its theme that therapy is needed. And Eric, as men of color, sorry, Jeff, I know you're a happy, but we're doing one drop rule over here.
Oh
So
man.
I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. But 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 as men of color, this need for being able to um, advocate for mental health is vital. We need more conversations like this, and this was great for it was a great introduction to it if it's someone's first time. Definitely a Hall of Fame because just the rewatchability, the juxtaposition of different shots and personalities. Every scene just bouncing off the wall, and like you become sucked into it. And I'm not just saying that because I watched it in IMAX. I'm s- it was like just incredible, and you know going back to the whole therapy thing and the idea behind self doubt. You know, the first two movies, you kind of saw him needing to prove himself that I can do it on my own, and then at the very third movie, he's believing himself, but then there's that self doubt in the back of your mind that goes, this is not who you are. You don't deserve to live in a fancy house like this where you have, you know, glass floors or whatever. Or you're a sellout. Like, what are you doing out here in the boonies? Do you forget, like in the first introduction between Adonis and Dame, he says, it's Dame says to him, I'm surprised you still out here with the common folk. It's like, sometimes as men of color, whenever we're on the come up, we're on the rise, you'll have those people like, oh, look at you, you traded in a monkey suit. It's like, just because I started making money doesn't mean I forgot where the hell I came from. And this was Adonis finally being able to prove the boys back home, nah, I got it. But at the same time, it's like, what do I have to prove to you? Why do I need to prove it to you? And it was just beautiful in how it all came full circle.
Yeah. I mean, you guys kind of hit the nail on the head with this. This is um, out of 9 movies, this I think is my third favorite movie in the franchise. It is the freshest direction that this franchise has gone in a very long time. Normally, when you get to a third movie in a trilogy, it doesn't get better. This does, and it really flips the script. I loved it. The performances are great. It's rewatchable. It's everything. It's a Hall of Fame. I can't recommend this movie more. I just love it so damn much. But yeah, we can go on and on. Anything else you guys want to add before we get out of here?
As a directorial debut, this was this was amazing. Um, Again, man, and I hope to see more of Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan on screen together.
Yeah, 100%. Make every movie, even Killmonger versus Kang, bring him back. I would love that. I would
Yeah,
lose my
in an
mind.
alternate
That's,
universe. Would you want Kang to bump off Killmonger, Eric?
listen, we
Ooh.
getting way
Yeah,
off, we getting way off topic, but
yeah,
like I said, I just need to see some kills, man. That's it.
yeah. Uh,
That's it.
I think they're coming in the
Yeah.
MCU future. But yeah, guys, this was a fun episode. You could catch up on all our other episodes, boxofficeqbs.com, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, all that fun stuff. We will be back very, very soon. I am Jeff. He's Eric. That's Ahmed. Hope you guys have a good rest of the week.